or like our green room.
Right.
So I think we're live. We are rocking and rolling across every single major network, competing with American Idol. You know,
what is up, Total Excellence?
Yeah, this is great. Dude, thank you so much for being my first guest. We, you know, you've been on this journey with me for almost like 6-7 months now.
Yeah, man, I'm so excited for Trial by Fire, dude.
Dude, you're excited for my stuff. I'm excited for your stuff. I'm excited to have a White Claw right here. Yeah, dude, like I think everything we're doing is what I wish I saw more of on social media, which is we're our biggest cheerleaders like out there. Like we're promoting one another. We're trying to bring up other people. I don't care if it's 10 views or 10,000 views. Like we want to talk to like everyone. And you know, and here, I don't know. I know you have an idea what you were going to be working on. I might work on my Uzi Susie.
Okay.
I've been at war with my printer for about 2 weeks now, and we finally like honed in on a lot of like that paper quality because I wanted things to be unique. And the final touch was the back cover, and I'm ripping off what this RoboCop 2 movie adaptation did.
Oh,
okay,
awesome.
So, like, see the back cover? It's got RoboCop and has like a little write up. So I was going to do this, and you know,
nice.
like you know, and then I thought I would just throw up, you know, like there was with some fine liners, and then I don't know, depending on how the night goes, dude. Like I have, like here's tonight's work. We got Trial by Fire here. We got some new pages.
Yeah, man.
For TBF. This one I still have to. This is page 1 of chapter 2, and you know this just recaps a couple things that happened in chapter 1.
Right.
So you know, like, and I have this. You know, this is a sticker. We got trading card artwork that I have to do.
Yeah, man.
And all of this should be, you know, I'm leaving for Florida on Thursday.
That's awesome.
And this is on my docket to get done by Thursday. So
awesome.
Yeah, and I don't know. And I think more of this stuff, well, you and I are going to try and do more of these on my channel, on your channel, or on anyone else's channel. Like, but anyway, so tell me about what are you working on? What are you going to be doing?
Since I'm in your channel, dude, and just so honored just to be your first guest, dude, I'll draw one of your characters from Trial by Fire.
Nice. Okay. Rock and roll. Let's I know you're familiar with them, so I'm sure you got some. Oh, I'm checking out some of the so wait, so if I hold up, see, I'm still learning this. There, that's what we gotta do.
Once you click on the comment on the chat, dude, they're gonna highlight. So that's my dude, Jin Gingerton. He is awesome. He's also a Floridian bro from another state. So, you know, who knows? Maybe you'll come up around where you're at. I believe he's in Orlando too. So who knows? We might cross paths.
Yeah, dude, my Orlando trip has become, you know, it's basically kind of like a, you know, we're going down for work reasons, but you know, we're kind of having some fun along the way, and. Dude, we're just having like conference calls every single day on what to do in Orlando. Like once we have the time, and then if we can make it up to Tampa for the Super Bowl, and that's my coming weekend. And guess what? It sounds fun, but it's totally stressful.
Yeah, dude. Anything that has to do with work related, it's stressful.
Yeah, it's like too much for me. You know, I kind of just want to you know, do my job and kind of like, you know, get going because I need to come back here and draw some amazing comics. And now I have to go to Disney and deal with that crap. But no, yeah. And dude, I am so upset that you don't live closer because
I know, man. It's like, dude, it's like when you told me like the two places, like, dang, bro, it's like 4-hour difference. I'm like,
Yeah, but dude, like now I know where you are. So you have been marked, and anyone that wants to hang out with us in Orlando, reach out to me, and I'll be there. I'll be there, willing and happy to like do whatever. But no, yeah. So I know I was going through some of your IG stuff today too,
right?
And I guess like my big question for you and what IG is, are you looking at IG versus Twitter, like with different philosophies when it comes to like your content and what your approach is?
Yeah, because I'm pretty much experimenting to see how, what are the people that are on these social medias, what their expectations when they go on these platforms. And I see a huge lot. First off, the interactions, because my biggest explosion when I did my coloring stream and showed off the timeline, I tagged Brett Booth. This dude is a huge supporter, man, for like indie creators and young artists. So he even retweeted like my stream, and I didn't even start yet. He just retweeted it, nothing. And after I showed the time lapse, I tagged him again, and he retweeted it, and that thing blew up. Everyone commented, and I even got one new follower and sub because of Brad Booth.
Yeah, he. I go back and forth with him a lot, and he's from like the Wildstorm days, which is basically a long form study of mine because I do these Wildstorm Wednesdays. But his work, when I do something related to him, more people, and it's probably because he's more active on social media than his contemporaries,
right?
And he does have like a following of his own because of that, and he does, dude. Like he looks out for you. He'll talk to you. I went back and forth with him a few times because I had questions on what some of the process was for some of the books I was talking about. And dude, like he's amazing. So where did it blow up? It blew up on Twitter, right?
Yeah, it blew up on Twitter. He retweeted it. I got like a lot of feedback. And the funny thing too is like I didn't know the original color scheme, so I just used a color scheme I'm familiar with, which was blue and yellow. Turns out it was actually the color scheme of that costume was red. And when I saw it, I Googled it. I'm like, oh god, that's disgusting. No wonder everybody loves it so much. Like I remember one comment saying like, it's like, man, it's like the color scheme is like you killed it with the color yellow for that costume.
Well, and that's kind of like I always said this back in the days when I worked in the comic shop. I always said like the people could rise up, like almost like a revolutionary style.
Yeah.
And if they weren't making good Punisher movies, which at the time they weren't, there was no Netflix Punisher. Right. I always said like the people eventually would make their own. And that's still the case even to this day because I think some of the better takes on Star Wars came through fanfic. Like stuff even like Twilight came up through like fan fiction.
Yeah.
And I just think people now dismiss it, but the best ideas and the best takes and what the corrections are, like they come up in the same method. It's like, all right, what if I made this yellow, and all of a sudden it becomes the status quo, and that's why you should never be afraid to put something out there because too many people tell me they're afraid someone's going to steal their ideas.
Oh my gosh, dude, I'm sorry that to me just gets me so angry. It's like to me it's like another excuse for you just to like be under a rock and not show yourself out there. Yes, drama alert. It's gonna happen. There are gonna be people out there like big huge brands that are gonna steal your art and take advantage of it and use it and make profit off of you without even knowing.
Yeah, right. But the thing is, though, too, it's like that could be happening all the time, and you don't have a clue. Like, exactly. so why should that prevent you from? Because you have to get the reps in, you have to get good at something, and part of the cycle is you have to put your work out there so you get feedback on it. Exactly. So, like, you kind of have to say 10 or 15 years of your work is just up for grabs until you get good enough to get hired and you have people around you to protect your work.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing too. Is like most of the time, even when their art is stolen, it's because of the people that the fan base that they built will look after you, and they will let you know, like, hey, like this brand is using your stuff. Like, do they have your permission? This is that. No, I do not know that.
Yeah, and I don't know. Like, I never used it as an excuse. And dude, I had back when I had our design studio in Philadelphia.
Right.
We were going to bring a major lawsuit against GoPro because GoPro premiered their new logo and it was 90% identical to the one I did for our design company.
Holy crap.
Like, yeah, and you know what? I used to have it in arm's reach because I would just like show people like all the time. And the reason why that lawsuit never happened is because we would have to be able to establish what the damages were.
Right.
And like, so we would have to say, look, we're losing this type of revenue because of your theft, and you owe us this. And that at the time was, like, it just wasn't possible. It wasn't feasible. So we had to let it happen. Like, it was just one of those things where they continued and like we were just separate. And who knows, like, it could have been one of those parallel ideas too. Just could have been crazy luck. But like, even to this day, I always say, put your ideas out there. Like, don't let this, like, these other things hold you up. And I think you're awesome with putting out your stuff.
Oh,
dude.
Thank you so much, dude.
Because I see what you're doing, and dude, I say, oh my God, I wish I was doing that 10 years ago. I wish I was doing that 5 years ago. And you're, dude, like, you got so much development. You have such, like, like, you have this, like, like, dude, like, you're just going to go like this. Like, like, you're here and you're just going to go up.
Right.
Because you're going to learn more and more. You're going to get better and better. And you may not be a comic book guy by the end of all of it. You might be a content director. Like, oh, here we go. We got another. Oh, pizza, dude. I was just eating the biggest pizza last night. I bought this Meat Lovers pizza. Ooh. And my girlfriend and I, because we were so excited, we were getting snowed in.
Yeah.
Dude, we bought the biggest Meat Lovers pizza that you could imagine.
All right. Okay.
And dude, like, we completely pigged out on it. Okay.
Right.
And then went to go work out in the snow because it's like almost like a blizzard here in Philly. So that, dude, I'm all for pizza. That's the way into my heart.
It's that way to everybody's heart, man.
Yeah. But, and then what else have you been doing? Are you watching any movies? Like, how's Total Excellence entertaining himself?
Dude, like, honestly, man, like, I'm just so focused on just my skill set.
Yes.
I noticed after my recent stream, like, coloring and stuff, dude, I finished my stream like an hour and 30 minutes maybe. So I mean,
loving it.
So it's like a simple pinup, and it's pretty awkward how it was drawn, and like, the decision of the colorist too. And guess who was a colorist for the thing I was streaming on? I had no clue until I looked him up after the stream.
Oh, tell me.
Kyle Ritter.
Oh my God. Yes, dude, his the way he makes his stuff pop, like with his contrast and like blending, dude, it is, dude, I don't know, like, he's coming from another realm, and I don't know how, like, even like a Kyle Ritter just doesn't do something one time and then permanently get hired by Marvel or DC. Like, how you just not put that guy on the permanent payroll and let him run all of your coloring? Yeah. Because he's like years ahead. Mm-hmm. But dude, that's so cool. But I went through some of your other stuff today, and your views have kind of been sustained. Like every time I go through your views, you're getting more and more.
Yeah, man. Honestly, man, it's just about like networking. It's something that you're not going to be taught in school. It's something that you got to be around with smart business people, and you just got to have the heart and the ears to humble yourself and be like, okay, like I can't always be the smartest guy in the room. Like these guys are at the place where they're at. So, they give me books to read, like self development and stuff.
Yeah.
Anything business related. And dude, like,
is there?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Is there any of those books you want to drop right now? Like anything in particular? Because, dude, I read, dude, I have some of them, like, right here. Like, look, dude, look. Like, this is right off of my bookshelf right here.
That's beautiful.
Dude, this book right here, if you want to really talk about branding.
Right. Oh,
dude,
man.
Dude, you know what? I got to look this up. But this book here, dude, I will buy one on Amazon and just send it to you. Because this is one of those books I feel like everyone should know about and go through. Because the way it discusses what brand is, dude, it's like so much more beyond like a logo. Like, like this totally opened my eyes to like next level stuff. And a lot of the stuff I did for that design company, dude, like I used this as like almost like a textbook, Right. But dude, there's this is one of my favorites right here. Ooh. Blah 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 blah. What to do when words don't work. And the whole idea here is communicating through, like, through everything visual. Yeah. Like it's pictures first, right. And dude, like those are just some of these are not exactly self-help, but they're kind of, in my view, they're almost the same category.
Yeah, just building yourself up as a brand. A lot. Let me see. Okay, a really good book. It's called the Compound Effect.
Okay.
That one is really good, man. And also, what's great about that book is like in the end, after you're done reading a chapter, it leaves you asking a question, like a simple like 10 questions to ask yourself, and it makes you really think. I'm like, holy crap, dude! Is like there'll be moments where you'd be like, in your youth, like, holy crap, like I didn't know I was way ahead of myself because of this. And some things is like, you know what? I lacked on that. Maybe that's why I'm where I'm at. Yeah.
See, like, so a lot of what you're encountering, it's they call it's like confirmation bias.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people use that term in a negative way, but it's very positive when you're like on your own path and you kind of have like a couple ideas to how like things work. And then, like, you read a book and it confirms some of your beliefs, And dude, like, I've had so many epiphanies. I've had more epiphanies in that method than I have in like reading comics,
right?
Because I'd rather read books like like a book by Tony Robbins or Albert Einstein's biography than kind of sit down and read like something about the X-Men. Because I'm trying to get myself to the next level. And I love the X-Men, but, like going on another adventure with Wolverine and Cyclops won't help me understand what I have to get to that next level. Right. And I will always sacrifice, like even, wait, is it here? I had one of the books in our green room, like real quick. But dude, I read biographies like you wouldn't believe.
Okay.
Dude, because like here's one of them, dude. This is Child No More, and dude, I got this for $1 at this bookstore, and it's just about this like, dude, this girl that lived in Hollywood, and dude, it's just really about like her, like messed up life and how she broke in, and dude, like there's more shortcuts in here, even just like how she dealt with some of the executives and things like that like no one would tell you. Like, but you read it, and dude, I will read this over like Todd McFarlane's Wolverine or Todd McFarlane's Hulk.
Yeah, of course.
Even though this is some like new hotness right here, though.
Yeah, of course.
Dude, I'm like,
there's beautiful art in there, you know.
Yeah, dude, I'm flipping through it just like talking to you, and I'm gorgeous, like, dude. And I'm just like, look at this, look at this leader right here, like, oh my god, dude, like, and one of these, this was a signature McFarlane trope. He would do these sideways profiles.
Yeah, the profile sideways things, and then panels over them.
Yeah. Awesome, and dude, I have two of those laid out for Trial by Fire, and I'm trying to decide which one to use because I can't use them both.
Yeah.
And they're two separate characters. And I'm just kind of like waiting for the story to line up so I can throw one in there.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, like, I'll work backwards like that too, where I'll just be like, like, what's cool? Like sideways splash pages. Okay, let me draw a sideways splash page and figure out the story, which is, people will tell you like that's the backwards way of doing it, but so, I don't know.
So now you piqued my question to ask you, dude.
Yeah.
So I always hear you say the eclectic one, and is it because of that you just go beyond comics?
Yeah, because like, so here's the thing. So I spent like a lot of time introducing myself for different types of like projects and meetings, and like around Philly, people hear me and they find out about me in all kinds of different ways. And dude, like, the biggest thing I've ever had to deal with is the question of like, where did you go to school? Dude, that is the biggest question I get. It's the biggest thing for me to try and explain. It's sometimes impossible for me to explain because people, will be like, oh, like, did you go to Brown? Did I go to Penn State or something like that? Yeah. And I always have to explain to people that I'm eclectic because I spent so much time in the marketplace. Like, I developed my own like really odd set of skills, and I developed ways to put those skills together. And it, calling myself eclectic is always helped me explain myself to people. Right. So, and that's kind of where that came from because, believe it or not, a lot of my friends, my social circle, they didn't find out that I drew until they like came over my house.
That's nice.
Yeah, because they know me through like some of these other things I do in Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. Like, they don't know anything about the comic books. They don't know anything about this. So I call myself the eclectic one to kind of just, it's a little bit of branding, but it kind of just helps explain where some of my vision and my points of view come from.
Right.
Because, I just think so many people I know, like, they only read comics and they try and make comics off of only reading comics. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, like, you got to kind of get obsessed with life and you got to put some life in your comics.
Right.
And you got to learn new things and kind of like push those boundaries. And it's tough to do. It's tough to do when you're locked in and you're trying to learn something. Like, you're trying to learn to draw. And, I'm over here telling you to read about Benjamin Franklin.
Exactly.
Like, and that's a tough concept for a lot of people. So, I just thought calling myself the eclectic one would also encourage people to get out of their comfort zone, get out of their elements, and, just realize you don't need to know everything about the Dark Knight to even make a good Dark Knight story.
Yeah, no, dude. It's crazy that like all the best Batman films are way better than the comics. And I'll just say this is because these writers in Hollywood, they're way talented, and there's a reason why they're in Hollywood, and it's because of how they write and stuff. And it's like, I mean, they like all they need to do is just read the best Batman books. I mean, even the animators who created the Batman series, they didn't even know about Batman, and they know Batman more than today's comic writers.
Yeah, and that's a really good observation because the script did get flipped, like, pun intended, because at one time Hollywood would kind of do a, like, they would get screenwriters, and then eventually the screenwriters would write an arc on, like, Batman or like the Green Arrow or something like that.
Right.
And now it's like, dude, those books right now don't have. I don't know if they have anything interesting happening, but everything that the movies do, the way how they boil down the concepts, dude, it's so much more enjoyable. Like it's really hard for me to get into some of these newer comics because I don't know, like I don't know what timeline I'm in, and I just get frustrated. I get confused. Yeah, I start drooling when I start flipping through an issue of like Superman, and he's not even like from Krypton or some shit.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like, okay, like the new 52, like Superman is something completely different. I guess I'm not reading this.
Yeah.
But and real quick too, are you still working like are you working a different job, or is it the same job that we
I'm working at the same job.
Okay, cool.
But I'm trying to try to do art full time. That's my big goal. And I mean, so far, man, like literally the beginning of like January, like it imploded on me, literally. It's like now I did the cover for the Flock comic.
Yeah.
The creator loves it. He loves my coloring, and he talked with another artist that's gonna do a poster for the Flock. And,
cool.
The creator hit me up saying my buddy Scott. He's like, hey dude, is I got an artist who is gonna do like pencils and inks, and he did it traditionally, which is great.
Yeah.
And it's like, are you down to do like a coloring job? I'm like, heck yeah, I'm down for it.
Nice.
And so it's like, and it just builds up after that. Now I got another commission. I got another coloring commission, and we talked and stuff. He's like, is it cool that you color it live within the launch of the campaign? I'm like, yeah, dude. I don't mind, dude. This dude. Like these two creators in particular, like I'm not gonna name drop it or
nothing. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
And these dudes, like they would retweet, they would bring so much positivity that just builds me up before I even go live. So it's just for me just another way to extend my thank you to them. And,
but dude, like that's what I mean about it. Like you're doing everything the right way because like that's the new economy and that's the new marketplace. Like you have to be able to find the people through social media. You have to connect to them, and you have to find the people that have projects that are real projects. Because, dude, I've had so many people hit me up with just fake projects.
Oh God, no way,
dude! Like I had this one guy hit me up one time that was insisting that he would pay me. Okay, he would pay me to go on live streams and promote his book. So I was like, okay, that's a little bit weird.
Yeah, it is. Honestly, that's the first thing that came to my mind. Is like, that is weird, but okay.
Yeah. So like I had like a phone call with him, and I'm like, he a lot of it checked out. Like he had a book on Indiegogo at the time, and he might even got Kyle Ritter to do some coloring.
Holy crap! Okay.
Okay, so like so I'm like, okay, like here we go, and then he starts talking, and it's like the whole reason why he doesn't want to do live streams is because he's like making too much money and he doesn't have time. And I'm just like, and the more I spoke with him, and the more I kind of gave him some room to like hang himself, like, like dude, like everything comes out in the wash. Okay, like, and dude, like, eventually this guy was just like a complete weirdo. Okay, and dude, I had someone else. Like, I'm not name dropping. I'm not doing like anything because I just rather not. But dude, I had this other guy who already commissioned like some good people. Okay. For artwork. And these are people that that are in my DMs. Okay. So I'm DMing these people as I'm on the phone with this other guy. Right. Because I'm like, dude, are you really like working with this guy? Like he's name dropping you. He seems a little bit off. And they're like, yeah, like he paid me. Like I did this for him. I did that for him. So I'm like, okay, cool. That checks out. And then, he gives me like a deadline that he wants to go live, and he's like, hey, could you do this, could you do that? And I'm like, sure, like I'll help you if you're paying, like let me know. If not, like, you know, we can work out something else. And eventually it's almost like, and dude, I've been encountering this type of scenario the entire time I've been like doing comics. Right. But you get these guys that kind of have like a really good day job, like a really good day job. Yeah. Okay. Like they're probably making 6 figures. Oh, and crap. Okay. Dude, and one of their hobbies is to tell people that they are, you know, like a Stan Lee, like that they're a comic book creator, and they have the bankroll to commission people.
That's nuts.
Okay, but they don't have any. There's no intent to publish. Like, you know, like they want to use it for like, you know, like as a discussion point or bragging rights or something. Right. But they have zero intent to publish. Okay. Yeah. And dude, I've been dealing with guys like that since I was a teenager, like graduating high school. Dude. Yeah, dude. I have files on them, like just files of guys that promised work, promised publication, and you know, kind of even paid me, but no means to ever publish.
That is
so like that's a lot. So like when you're you know, what's his name? Scott for Flock, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so like part of like where that came from, because I know him and I had like a back and forth.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of that's coming from.
Okay.
Where like I'll tell people like, hey, you need something, I'll do it. You just guarantee to publish it. That's the only condition.
It's because of your past experiences with those dudes. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm also in a position where, you know, like I don't have to go crazy with money. Because I do have a, you know, I have a day job, so
yeah, of course.
Yeah, I can kind of be a little generous with my drawing time, and that's just, you know, and but anyway, so like that's where like that whole like thing came from.
Right. Okay.
Makes
a lot of sense.
But it was just because, dude, like, the more you're in the game, the more you're going to like see it, dude. Like it's everywhere. I had people back in the day that were getting published in Wizard magazine.
That's nuts.
And would send me articles and send me paychecks and be like, hey, we're doing this. And it's like, yeah, I would fax things to them at the time. Like,
yeah.
Like that's what everything was. And
pretty rad.
Yeah, and then it was like all systems are go. And then it would just be like, you just never hear from that person again. And they just like disappear.
Holy crap.
Yeah. And every once in a while, one of them will track me down on social media. And I'll get like the 3 o'clock in the morning message from them. And they'll be like, oh, I'm so happy to see you're still drawing. Like you're still at it. Yeah. And then they just kind of like start telling me about, yeah, their life. Because at that point, it's just water under the bridge. Like I'm not going to hold any grudges against people, but you find out that they're not even doing comics. They got kids, they got a couple dogs, you know, and that's it. Like they're completely out of chasing that dream. Wow. And dude, like you know, like comic books is not a like indie comics is not easy.
Oh yeah, like dude. It's not.
But I think you're navigating it super well, dude.
Thank you so much, dude. Yeah, no, it's pretty. I know. Is it dudes that you personally know, or dudes that just pop out of nowhere saying, "Hey, I got this project"?
Yeah, well, a lot
of that. Like the second thing I said sounds a lot like that. Like dudes just randomly pop up, saying, like, "Hey, I got work for you."
Yeah, dude, and just so you don't think I'm like crazy, I will send you a screenshot from today. Okay. From today of me trying to get a guy on the phone. Okay. Okay. And I'm like, hey, I think you have some really great stuff. You know, I did some quick sample work for him. Okay. Was like, hey, like this is what I think it would look like. And he's like, perfect. And kind of like a week goes by and there's no, like, you know, sometimes I let things burn to see if they're going to like, you know, knock down my door.
Right.
Like, because that's a good way to gauge sometimes if a person is serious. So I've been like, hey, I think we should talk on the phone. And he's not taking that at all. So it's kind of like no phone conversation. But then I'm like, look, I like your project. I want to see it happen, but I don't want to charge you a price that's going to kill the project. So I need to kind of know like your budget, which, like a lot of times, like I would say when I was younger, I would I would be out of my mind to ask that question. Like I would be so afraid to ask that question. Mm-hmm. And now I'm kind of like, look, I need to know your budget so I know what I'm doing. And I'm like, I don't want to overcharge you or even overquote you because I think you got something really fun here, and you're like, I can kind of tell he has ideas. So he sends me like a figure, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of what I was thinking. So at that point, like it's going to be, like how truthful is this project? And I'll tell you right now, anytime someone doesn't want to get on the phone with you to be a little bit clear on like what the terms are, what the expectations are, that's always, dude, it's always a weird sign. Like it really is. Like it's, and you can say that sometimes that they're hiding something or like whatever. Right. But yeah, dude, it's but I think sometimes with social media, you can vet these people a little bit easier.
Right.
But you're doing, what were you doing? You were coloring the black bat from Dynamite. Dude, that looked awesome, dude. That looked hot.
Thank you so much, dude. Yeah, no, it's the thing is, I was taking some, again, bro, I don't watch TV, I don't watch movies. I hate watching movies now because I hate the mere fact it consumes so much of my time.
Yeah, and
it's like I just don't have control over it. If it's over, it's like if I see the time of the length of the film is like, this is the time I'm gonna lose a skill set that I know I can learn much faster.
Yeah.
So I'm very sensitive with my time. So like again with my coloring and stuff, like dude, I now know just within a snap. I just within real time, and so yeah, dude, it's crazy, man. I mean, even one of my Gingerton over here, like he even like put in some suggestions, like, oh, you know what? Just put a smoke around the gun, and I'm like, holy crap, dude! I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
So it's like he even made it twice as hot. So I even got like Trent Kanuga's Photoshop brushes, and with Clip Studio's new update, putting Photoshop brushes over to Clip Studio, now I got like smoke and fog, all the special effects.
Dude.
In my freaking like pinups to make it even twice as hot. So yeah, man.
Yeah, dude, I went down a deep dive when it comes to brushes because with Uzi Susie, a part of this like printer back and forth, right. I made the I made the judgment call to add like a color halftone, like to add like a color tone. I'll send you like a couple shots of it, and I'm looking on my shelf now if I can grab a good example of it because let me see. But hold up here. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, go ahead, dude. Just
let me know here we go.
Down. Okay. Switching over.
So, right here. So, we get this, right?
Oh, God, dude. This is like one of my wish lists.
Yeah. So we got the turtles, right? This is volume 1. Okay. Mm-hmm. So, for these, there's 5. I think there's 6. There's 5 or 6 volumes of this. This goes through like the first 50... maybe 55 issues of the original series. Right. And the original series, just to give you a little bit of a background, it starts like, we kind of know how it starts. It starts with like the classic issue 1, okay? And then what happens is as the series continues, they let other creators come in and just basically do their own thing. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the narrative that was established here gets lost for about like 5 or 6 years.
Right.
And then towards issue 50, it was called City at War.
Yeah.
Everything comes back and they kind of do one final story. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anyway, so And that's a little bit of your history of the turtles. So one of the things in here that always got me was, if you want to look up, like see all the gray here.
Mm-hmm.
So I started to do this for Uzi Susie.
Okay.
And I had to kind of dig up brushes in Photoshop that would echo this.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. And dude, like that was a path that basically set me back another week on Uzi Susie.
Right.
But dude, the difference of the pages and artwork is it's so freaking awesome. So like when you're telling me you're trying to hunt down brushes and testing brushes, dude, I was testing everything for those brushes to get the right effect.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's another thing that artists that's transferring over, like you're transferring over to traditional and digital. And, you know, a few of them will say, like, oh, you know, honestly, digital artists do have it easy. But at the same time, it's another learning curve that I myself, you know, learned the hard way. And even, like, digital brushes, man, is, like, you got to know, like, what makes them tick. What effects will make your illustration that much greater.
Yeah. No, dude, like, I am still... like learning, I'm still experimenting. I don't take any of that stuff for granted, because I always say, if I can color something in marker, I should be able to color it equal in Photoshop and or in Clip Studio. And a lot of times I'll get so frustrated when I'm not quick enough. Right. And I always know I'm not quick enough when I don't know something well enough. Like, you know, like, and I always try and get more efficient with Photoshop, Clip Studio, dude, even StreamYard. Like,
yeah, of course.
Yeah, because dude, I get so into it and I get so pissed at myself when it's just, you know, I'm like, oh, and dude, not it's like the less you know, the longer it's going to take.
Exactly.
You know, and I always try and get that balance, dude. You know, and that's why, like, I'm always, you know, I offer help to people when, you know, because I see people kind of struggle sometimes, and I'm like, hey, you need like help with this? You need like you know, like you can work out financials, we can work out published credit, we can you know, like do something. And I think so many people are just prideful, like they're like their ego kind of blocks them from accepting help.
Right. Yeah. I can answer that, dude, because I think there's a good and there's a bad. Like, you need to have ego when it comes to doing comics, but you got to make sure you don't sound like a dick having that ego.
Yeah.
You know, my buddy Larry Higgins, LP, who's a creator of NILP, like, he did a really good video on, you know, like, creators who have ego, like Rob Liefeld, Todd McFarlane. I mean, if you watch that documentary for Image Comics, having 7 founders for one publishing company is like, how many, you know, it's like, how much would you hear of any business that is a great idea to have 7 founders and try to, like, you know, say, you know, it's like pretty much like the like basketball players in the NBA. They're all coaches in their own team, and they all have the right to have the ball.
Right.
And you have to, as a coach, just try to find a way to, you know, just try not to kill each other. Because they were even extremely competitive, too. Like, freaking Rob Liefeld would, like, you know, he would vouch over their talent, too, man. And, you know, he's not shy to throw out extra bucks because he wants to be around with young creators getting overpaid how he's getting paid.
Right. Yeah, and dude, like, yeah, so that was like always, that's a part of the Image lore, was that Rob Liefeld was basically trying to poach talent from Mark Silvestri, who did Top Cow. And I want to say the guy that they were fighting over was Michael Turner.
Turner's
right, like the freaking legend, you know, that he became. And dude, like, like there's so much to that, because Rob, if you go through a lot of Rob Liefeld's comments, and this is why I get sometimes frustrated when people talk to him and they don't really press him. Like, a lot of his story for that shifted.
Right.
And like, at one time, dude, like, he was very bravado about like getting talent, bringing up talent. He was very prideful about it at one time. And this is back when, he used to have it was called Spinner Rack. He had his own forum. It was called Robservations, which is the same name of his like podcast. Yeah. And like, throughout the years, he kind of rewrote a lot of that history.
Okay.
And I just never felt like he ever got pressed to if he regretted that, or if he felt like he had better projects for the talent or better money for the talent.
Right.
Because like, like that, there's something to be said there too. Like, there's something to be said that you could be like, well, you're a dick. Michael Turner belongs, or like, Mark Silvestri has Michael Turner's contract, and you can't do that. But dude, like, what if the terms weren't good for Michael Turner?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what if the business side wasn't good for either of these guys, and Rob Liefeld was just kind of like, hey, I could pay you. Like, I could pay you. And, like, I don't think there's a lot about that I don't feel like is wrong. And I just wish someone would press him on that and just really be like, hey, like, did you feel like you were giving these guys a better alternative? Is that why you were aggressive? Is that why you kind of paid, $40,000 an issue to Stephen Platt?
Mm-hmm.
But dude, like, the competition though made that company.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Is like, the competition, like, even competing themselves, man, helped bump out DC Comics from second to third. So, I mean, again, man, it's crazy. Like, I want to jump back to what you said too. Is like, it's like, I'm surprised no one pressed on to him or even challenged Rob Liefeld's. Like, do you feel justified from the young Rob to now Rob?
Yeah.
That.
Great question.
Dude, like, what was your thought process, and what do you think now? Because now there's a thing that Rob Liefeld, the dude was brave, man. The guy has balls, because he's not shy to call out anyone. He called out Alan Moore that he's a dick working with him.
Yeah.
He's like, it sucks now. It's like, now Alan Moore is like this grumbling old man screaming at you, "Get off my lawn!"
Yeah.
And now it's comics. It's like, oh my gosh, he is hilarious, and he even opened up too. Is like, one of them asked him, like, how do you feel about Stephen Platt not signing any profit runs on your book? And I'm like, wow, man, that is bold. But again, they had a relationship with Rob. So, prior to that, like, again, Rob says, I love the show. I love you guys, with so much energy and excitement. Like, he's already comfortable with these guys. So whatever they're going to lay on him, they're going to lay it on him. Who knows? Maybe they even asked him before they even went live, just to warm him up.
Yeah, I just feel like a lot of times these Image guys, because I feel like McFarlane doesn't get pressed for a lot of stuff, and McFarlane kind of, like, McFarlane has some sins of his own when it comes to how he dealt with, like, he essentially, the other perspective is that McFarlane drove Rob Liefeld and Jim Lee to go back to Marvel for Heroes Reborn. Okay, because that was a big break within the company also, where Jim Lee and Rob Liefeld got separate contracts, and this was a storyline that called Onslaught. And Onslaught was this character that was a combination of Professor Xavier and Magneto. And he shatters like all of reality and sucks in the Fantastic Four, Avengers, Captain America, and Iron Man, and destroys them. Okay, and so part of Marvel continuity was that all those characters died. And they put those characters on pause, gave them a pocket universe that was later controlled by Franklin Richards. And they let Rob Liefeld and Jim Lee reboot all these other characters with their studios. And Todd McFarlane completely hated that. Because he felt like they were betraying their the company and the image, the image of Image Comics.
Yeah, of course.
And because McFarlane would attack them when they had late comics, he tried to be he got them to where they were as of gathering the storm, and but then at the same time he didn't want any of them to ever leave Image ever again. And I think that's a big conversation point when you talk to McFarlane, because you have to say, hey, Rob Liefeld went off and did all of these things. Jim Lee went off and did all of these things outside of Image. Do you feel responsible that they're not at Image now?
Wow.
I think that's a real question.
That's a sting to open up to, because everybody has a mixed bag with McFarlane. I remember even comic book owners, I'm talking about a few who opened the stores for 20 plus years, which is non-existent. It's non-existent for any comic book store to ever open that long.
Yeah.
Ever. So I remember one of these comic book owners would tell me they had experience with McFarlane, and it's a mixed bag. It's it depends on how he felt within the day.
Yeah.
And everyone says that his biggest flaw is he can't handle big crowds. If there's a big crowd, he will go freaking nuts, man, and yell, and he'll might even find a megaphone just to shut you up. It's man.
I was a kid when there was a year that he came to Philadelphia.
Oh wow!
And it was Philly's first Comic-Con, and McFarlane was here. They had the Spawnmobile, which was a dragster.
Oh, dude, that was
awesome. And that was that's back when it was so big that the idea of even waiting in line to meet McFarlane was just impossible, because that's what you would do all day. You would just wait in line all day at the convention. You would either have to go to the convention and not wait in line, or wait in line and not do anything else. And dude, that's how big they were. But even around here in Philly and in Jersey, you would get a mixed bag with a lot of the shop owners. Some of them liked him, some of them didn't like him, some of them thought he was a complete dick, and some of them had personal experiences with him. Because comics it's still always a small industry.
Yeah.
Even back then, it never was this. It's never no one was untouchable in comics. I'll say, but but the Image stuff is very fascinating.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. I honestly like the fame of comic book artists, or comics in general, because one, you're not really much famous. I mean, look at McFarlane, how much accomplishments he made. Look at oh my god, I keep forgetting, Robert Kirkman. Look at all these dudes' accomplishments, and I bet you 1 out of 10 no one would even know their names. Who created The Walking Dead, or Spawn, or any of that? They know the characters, and that's the most powerful thing. Is your characters, is your brand, and your recognition. 9 times out of 10, no one's even gonna know who the creators of the Turtles are. I bet you 9 to 10, they'll think the creators of the Turtles are dead, because that's how much belief they have for the Turtles. Is that these the Ninja Turtles are gonna outlive the creators, and that's the best thing creator could ever hear.
And speaking of that, is that one of your hopes and dreams with the Gator Boys?
Honestly, dude, it just really depends on how, God, I wish I can give a better answer. It's pretty much how how I don't know. It's just pretty much like
yeah.
the outcome of like when it's finally out is my biggest concern. It's like kind of like Star Wars when the Force Unleashed, or not Force Unleashed. I keep mistaking it for the video game title. New Force Awaken.
Oh yeah.
Like that. I'm like I don't want to overhype it, but there has to be a balance where like I have excitement for it because it's a new thing now and it's radical and it's something different. And that's what I want to give for the Gators. It's something different. It's something that everybody wants, and I just want to fill in that gap. Now, how, again, in the end of the day, it's my creation. And how my creation is, I'll either be like Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird and that they're going to outlive, or I could be like Eric Larson and I'm going to keep continuing making the Gators until people stop reading it.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I think you should take a note from Kevin Eastman.
Okay.
Which is where, he was always like a comic book guy. And when they hit success with the Turtles, like he went all in on a lot of his other comics. A lot of these books people completely, like they went down the memory hole.
Yeah.
Like I got some of them here. Can't exactly reach them, but yeah, and I do kind of some commentary on them on my other stuff. But the idea is that he like always maintained the Turtles. He let other people work on them. And that was a very intelligent move because he eventually had to go back to them.
Right.
Like, like he eventually was like, the Turtles is going to be my career again. But between him starting the Turtles and going back to them, he, he kept putting out his own stuff. Mm-hmm. And it's very fascinating when you consider that he was maybe trying to create another Turtles and couldn't do it. Like, couldn't do it and had minor success with other comics.
Right.
And that was it. But I think when you do your Gators, like my biggest piece of advice for you is to go all in on them and spend time going all in. Like you give it your all, go all in, and that way when something happens or doesn't happen, like like you were kind of like in the moment. That you gave it your all, and that doesn't mean you can't go back to it and try and figure something else out.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you should go all in as of like the biggest storyline you could tell, the biggest types, like the best types of characters you can throw. I think you should pour everything into it.
Right.
Do one big complete storyline, and imagine that being like the first and final story. But then like understanding that it's comics, so you can always bring the characters back. You're not bound to anything.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of one shots because a one shot is pretty much your first date. It's like your first how can I say it's your first impression. They either gonna like you and if things go well you can ask for a second date, and if it didn't work well it's the readers have a connection with it, but they liked your charisma, your energy of how you pitched it, so they might give you another chance, but it might be not that thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the stuff I do starts as a one shot.
Okay.
Like everything starts as like a one and done, just with the idea of getting it out of my head, and then like again, like everything with Uzi Susie is a good example. Would be that when I finished issue 1 for her, dude, I sat down to do issue 2 and I had nothing. I had zero. Oh, we got Skull Diamond over here. Skull Diamond, I apologize.
Dude, that's my buddy over there too. Another guy.
Dude, I love him. I love him to death. And dude, he's cooking his own stuff which I can't wait for. But yeah, so, and what happens is like, I sat down to really commit to issue 2, like, the second adventure, because I had the origin of Uzi Susie figured out.
Yeah.
And dude, like, it was a complete blank. Like, no joke, dude. I don't know, dude. Like, I just couldn't get anything. It took me a week of drawing pages and just like throwing them out. Like, I kept drawing, throwing it out, drawing, throwing it out, and I couldn't get any momentum whatsoever. And it took me a while to kind of, I don't know, like, figure out what the format of the issue would be.
Right.
What what the direction of the series, the actual story I was trying to tell. And I don't know why, because I came close to just like giving up. I was like, well, maybe I'll just let it go, because I don't know if there's much of a story here. And then what happened was, everything with Uzi Susie deals with prostitution.
Yeah, I pretty much got an idea of what Uzi Susie has.
Yeah, so one of the gimmicks I came up with was I wanted every single issue to have the death of almost like a themed comic book pimp. Okay. So the second issue is really what begins her revenge streak. So the pimp she kills in that issue is like a bunny pimp.
Right.
The pimp in the next issue will be some of a church themed pimp.
Okay.
Okay, and they all have names like Fur Daddy and Faith Daddy.
I love it. Oh my gosh, dude.
So once I developed that hook, I was like, I have it now. Like, I'm all in. So now when I sit down to do issue 3, I'm like, she's going to run into Faith Daddy, who's like the church pimp, and she needs to kill him in a cool way. And that's it. Like, and now I have this format. It's very simple, but I'm also like, doing things within 12 pages because I'm not doing full-size comics for Uzi Susie. But I think with the Gators, I think you're going to go on a very similar journey where you're just going to kind of have a little, like, some of a story done. You're going to have like these elements that are good, but then you're going to have these holes. And you're going to know you have to focus to fill those holes. Yeah. And that's where it gets scary. Like, because even for me, dude, like Trial by Fire, I'm dealing with, well, I'll show you. Like, here, if you want to see some of my Trial by Fire process.
Dude, show everyone.
Yeah, because we're just about done with the Uzi Susie drawing here.
All right, cool.
So we got the back cover for our babe here. But yeah, so this is my moleskin. My sister got me this for Christmas.
Oh, that's fantastic.
My sister always gets me like blank sketchbooks and things like that. And I feel like it's a crime if you don't like fulfill that. Like, you gotta fill it up. So like, and just to bring you into some of the process for like starting 2021, like I started writing out just some very clear, like simple goals and big ideas. Okay. And then like I started to work out even like some of my positioning for social media. Okay. So here, like, I'm just going to take more notes of what I think I should be doing on Facebook and TikTok and YouTube and LinkedIn. I gave myself a whole extra page here for that. And then look, this is the idea tree of Uzi Susie. Okay. Dude, I had these like characters, and I know she's got to kill her way back to like the king pimp, Mac Daddy. Dude, and I had like, I'm like, here's a guy, but she needs to kill him. He's a big, and I'm just trying to figure it out, dude. And I'm trying to figure out, look, the chapters, like, no luck. I'm trying to draw like the map of her city, like, no luck. And then here, dude, like for Uzi Susie, I just start illustrating the process. Like, here's one scene that I wanted in Uzi Susie 2. And a lot of the issue I reverse engineered from this. So like those pages are, let me see. I think I have them here. Because now the Uzi Susie stack is ever growing. Here we go. Yeah, so we got Uzi Susie like 2 like right here. Okay. So we got this sequence is right here. So I was like, all right, we have a kid. The kid's going to get like basically going to get terminated, like right, like right here. Right. So and then I had this, and that's the guy that blows away the kid. Okay, and that like, yeah. but I had to have this as page 12, okay. and I had this in the middle, and the rest of the stuff I had to do was like I had to create like this fur daddy guy that she blows into pieces, and that was it, dude. Like once I had the death of a pimp, I had the reveal of a new supervillain for her.
Right.
Like I kind of was like, that's the format too. I want 2 new villains per every single 12 issues for Uzi Susie.
Yeah.
So it was.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Dude,
no, it's okay.
Do you still have the original the Pimp Daddy thing when he got blown out? Because dude, I was so blown away. It's like you've drawn it. I don't know whether you trace it or you just freedom draw it exactly how it was before.
Yeah, so here it is. So here's the original. Okay. And so I'll tell you here's the things. This is what I didn't like about this, okay? I thought everything around the exploding guts,
yeah.
I thought all of this was too confusing.
Right.
Okay, it's too much gray. There's not enough like separation, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like his pose, even though like you can kind of tell he's like falling, and you know you have his legs here.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing I liked her pose here, and like you know you can kind of see like her hair, like her hair's like her tag, that's her signature.
Right.
But I thought like she looked good. You could tell what was happening, and then it was like this idea that you know because he's like a bunny, he has like these bunny hookers. Okay,
mm-hmm.
like the bunny hookers are sad that he's getting killed because they're kind of like programmed. Yeah. So all this stuff came together, and I had this like I want to end it with her face, and then what really killed it was when she's standing over him.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't nail the positioning of his head.
Okay.
And I hit it with the whiteout a couple too many times. So a combination of this and then the overall, like, you know, like the theme of the page, which is the top panel, it just didn't sell. It just wasn't selling. So here's what I did. I really didn't do much. I just redrew it, like, essentially, okay?
Okay.
You know, like, I kind of did a little bit of Kirby, which was, you know, I made his hand come a little bit closer to the camera.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, like you can kind of see this one a little bit better here. And then what I did was I made him like running like more towards the camera. So his knees here, he's throwing his one leg back, and I left negative space between all the bullets.
Okay.
So you can kind of see the bullets ripping through him and his guts kind of, you know, pouring out. You know, it's a big difference.
Yeah, huge difference.
You know, but at the same time, no one told me not to use this.
Right.
Okay, I said this needs to be better, and you know, like this put me back a good day. Like I could normally get done 3 pages in one day for Uzi Susie.
I bet.
And you know, this set me back, and then I went back to the actual plot of the issue and was like, let me rethink the entire issue at this point. So what happened at that point was, because I want you to feel sorry for the pimp. in a weird way. So to get to know the pimp, I threw in like a flashback where you see the pimp. Like you see you know more about the pimp. We're gonna have a flashback page, and then we're gonna cut to him getting killed. And that's it. So yeah, and that was because a lot of the opening was I wanted the book to open like this. I wanted this to be page 1.
Right.
And then page 2, I want, like, because I want her to, she doesn't kill anyone with any Uzis in issue 1. Because issue 1's like her origin. So I just felt like issue 2's, like, we gotta deliver. So we gotta kill some people. She kills 11 people in this comic.
That's nuts.
Yeah, and then we have, like, the establishment of Fur Daddy and all of his bunny hookers.
Right.
Like they're all like, you know, they're all like he gives them these drugs and he transforms them into they're part bunnies, like physically they're part bunnies.
Mm-hmm.
So and that was like the whole thing. So right here is where I kind of just got a little bit of momentum, and then when it comes to Trial by Fire, dude, I started breaking down like a new morning routine for me. And then look, dude, this is me struggling with Uzi Susie issue 2, where I'm just writing down what I want on each page. Okay? And that's it, dude. Like, you can see there's some like blanks here. There's stuff I crossed out because I don't really know. Like, I'm still I'm still struggling. And then here we got into Trial by Fire. And dude, here's everything I'm showing you here is Trial by Fire Chapter 2.
Right.
It's so once it's written, I'll hit Google Docs and I'll just write it all down. So look, and then I'm keeping track of the pages. 12 pages, 14 pages, 15 pages, 16. And a lot of times, a lot of these images here, like I'll reverse engineer because I'm like, we need this is a newer character, and I'll just be like, we need like a big shot of him. Because we mention him here, but we need to kind of know who this guy is.
Right.
And so I'll kind of work forwards and backwards at the same time. And a lot of my process for this was it's not so linear because we have like Davidson and Pitbull having a conversation with someone. But then I'll be like, all right, we have to pick up the conversation like over here. Okay? Like, see, we pick up the conversation, but in the middle, we have a different plot point. We have like a B plot, which is Davidson and this other character, and then we have our villain kind of like doing stuff. So the villain gets like 3 pages, and then we're back to that conversation. So it's just a way to structure like 3 things at one time, and then within like 20 pages, you kind of chart out how you move it all forward. So when you're reading it, like you're jumping around, and it's way more satisfying to jump around when you're reading a comic than it is to have here's everything that character A does and here's everything that character B does. So and this right here is what I'm working on now. So those are the final pages, and that was a tough shell to crack too, dude. Like I hit the wall when it came to TBF. Where I was almost like, I think I need to like back off. I need to like go in a little bit of a break. But so like when you like here's one thing. When I got back into drawing and doing all my artwork, I was live streaming on Instagram a lot. And this is going back up to 3 years ago.
Okay.
And one of the things I found when I was live streaming, I was kind of talking and doing a couple things at one time, and I felt that helped my progress a lot. Being able to kind of multitask, do a couple of things at one time, and I felt like it was making me a little bit better. And I don't know if you felt something like that with your coloring, because it looks like that's a little bit of what happened because your quality just gets better and better.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you, dude. It's like, it's a whole new other skill set that you find balance on. It's something that you won't catch in the first time. You won't catch it till the next month. Again, dude, I've been doing this live stream game for 6 months. For 6 months to finally get a good balance. There'll be days where I wasn't able to catch on to all the chats, and because of that I felt like it kind of affected me coloring, and it's like another way of a marketing tool, because again, before I even do live streams or doing these color streams, the first thing out of respect is like, oh, is it cool with you guys if I just do this live? Because I would get these things like maybe a week in advance, or maybe like 3 days before.
Okay.
So, and they're totally cool with it because it's another way of marketing, and everyone's up to date what I'm doing. Everyone knows what project I'm working on. Dude, I'd be talking to people and they get excited for me and they want to know when the heck is the Flock comic going to come out to get my copy.
Yeah, because look, I'll take it even a little bit further, dude. I think if anyone is active on social media, like we'll just take you for example, and they come to you and they're like, "Hey, could you do this and do that?" I think like you're almost at a premium because you have this promotion rolled into your process already, and they may not have that type of promotion rolled in. Right. And I think it's worth more money. And I think the time investment you're putting into it deserves to be complimented, deserves to be paid off because, dude, like a lot of these guys are introverts, these creators. And
no doubt about that.
Yeah, and like and that doesn't mean they're not telling brilliant stories because I think a lot of them are, but they're introverts and they need people to kind of like pull teeth for them, right? Because you have to be active on social media. I don't care like what you're doing, but everything is going to run through social media, like period. Like if it's not running through it already. Yeah. And I think you're premium, dude, because dude, at your age, the stuff you're doing is you're only going to get better at it, dude. And your audience is only going to get bigger.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much, dude. I truly appreciate your words of encouragement. Yeah, man. I mean, honestly, all of that comes out of just pure out of kindness. And, I only do that for those that I'm close to. And I know that I do it for those that are actually getting the projects done. Legit. Yeah. Like, unfortunately, with the stories that you told me, I never experienced that because I hang out with people that actually do the crap, Yeah. So so in another way, too, is like now I have this responsibility. I had no clue until one of my good buddies, unfortunately, happened to him that now in some kind of twisted way, they're kind of responsible when they have a creator on their show. And weirdly enough, it's not it's kind of like second nature. It's not like you're well aware of it, but it's kind of your fault because you have an audience that trusts you to bring this person on and say, hey, look, this person has this book. And next thing you know that you have this person on your show, they backed it, and then they won't get their book till next 2 years, and they find out they're in Walmart.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude. I know who you're talking about. I see, dude. I see posts on Facebook. I see posts on Twitter, and I'm just like, what is happening? Like, how can you? I don't understand how you. Like, I don't know. I know Walmart is that's the golden goose. Yeah. Like the minimum order for a Walmart is insane because that literally can be all the money you need for your company can be one order from Walmart in one calendar year.
That's crazy.
But my question is that are they I don't think it's it's got to be regional. I don't think it's nationwide Walmart.
No, it's not. It's in certain Walmart stores where you have to put on a location where you'll know where they sell it. It's not all nationwide Walmarts. It's in certain locations of Walmarts that they sell this product.
So if it's not nationwide, then believe it or not, I think you're not making a big enough bet for the long ball because I don't know. I mean, you gotta kind of do both, but you can't just make a bet on Walmart because comics are not going to thrive in Walmart.
I mean,
no one's going to go to Walmart for a comic. We all know that.
Well, that's the thing that gets away. I mean, I think it's a good point where you said, but at the same time, Walmart you got to think Walmart. Walmart is a general store. It's not a tool shop. It's not a sports bar. It's a general store. So what we're right now in this day and age with comics now is that this company is the guinea pig of this experiment that they're doing. Yeah, DC has their books in there too, but it's not premium quality comics that you and I would go to an LCS. It's just okay quality where kids can read it and then they can throw it away and they won't feel bad about it.
Yeah. No, exactly. And I don't know, like I just think like for me, like yeah, I've been kind of chipping away at this one video.
Okay.
And I wanted to do a video on what I call value-driven comics.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like, all right, like let's say we take away the incentives because everyone's all about incentives right now. And dude, like nothing against incentives because I love them. Okay. But the thing is though, like what do we do with the comic when we don't have incentives? How do we add value to the comic book itself? And I've been kind of building some of these examples up of just like, some of them are newer, some of them are older, but of like, how do you build a comic so that there's value in the comic outside of what's on the cover and the storyline? Like, I want to kind of help people go down that road because I think the better you're at, and this is like you wearing a publisher hat, not a creator hat and not a artist hat or a writer hat, but as a publisher, what do you add to that comic to add the absolute most value? And I think a lot of people they miss that. And I think their books kind of fade away because of it. And I'm all for adding as much value to my books as possible, meaning I'm adding backups, I'm adding features, I'm adding more commentary, I'm adding sketch work, I'm just pouring more. Dude, the last 2 days of Uzi Susie was me developing the 4 extra pages I have for that book.
Oh, wow.
Like I needed to kind of communicate things within those 4 pages. I needed to do some self-promotion, but I needed to kind of also add value outside of what that story was.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, dude, like I think a lot of people, like I hate to say it, they miss that boat. And just because they have an audience doesn't mean that the book is like what it should be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, so like that's just something I just really been like obsessively chipping away at because I got a couple of examples here.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway, how much? How are we doing on time? Oh my God, has it really been 90 minutes?
90 minutes? It says an hour and 22 minutes on my end.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry. Yeah, but yeah. How are you doing on time? By the way.
What do you mean by time?
Like, did you? I don't know if you needed to leave. I don't know if I'm holding. If I'm holding you hostage or what.
Dude, man, we'll do this all day. Just
Yeah.
Until it gets to 11, that's when I'll be like.
Yeah.
Bedtime.
There you go. Nice.
We're gonna keep that innocence.
Yeah. Dude, I'll be up on. Like I've been wanting to do almost like a draw stream since I started all this. Like what we're doing, everything else I've been doing, I just been slowly building towards this because I think this is the one thing most people want to watch me do. Period. It's just like sit down there and like draw.
Yeah, no, dude. I'm one of your audience, dude. I'm just blown away. Like, first off, how fast you are, because I take my sweet time drawing, and dude, I don't know. To me, like, drawing is such a luxury, and that it's something that not a lot of people don't have the patience for, man.
Dude, I like no joke. I told you this before. Mm-hmm. Every time I draw, I get stressed out, dude. I get nervous. I don't like screwing things up. I don't like wasting my own time. And as soon as I start drawing something that I'm not 100% like, that I don't 100% know, I'm almost like, oh, like, what if I screw it up? What? I just kind of go down that road. Right. And I think because I'm always stressed out about it, I got really good with drawing and redrawing.
Yeah.
Like, I can kind of do a couple of things at one time when it comes to, like, shading the figure, adding different effects, doing some of my shortcuts, and whatever. But I'll show you this.
Yeah, like, go ahead, dude. Show me, man. I love seeing your stuff, dude. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of your work, man.
Like, where's it at? Because, like, here, I got this 300 drawing props.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to work on this every single day. Okay, but usually I'll be with the 9 to 5. If I get stuck on the phone with someone, I'll just come up here at the drawing desk and I'll have the person on speakerphone, and I'll be like working on this. So like the whole idea was I wanted to fill this up with everything from Five Below. So I spent $5, and then I bought all of these gel pens at Five Below. All these are from Five Below. And I said, I'm only using the gel pens, drawing them in here, no pencil, so no mechanical pencil, no erasing, and I follow the prompts as accurately as possible. So, dude, and some of them are, like, they're wild. Like, angel wings, Dr. Seuss hat. Okay, like, like, not too bad. And then, look, your reflection, so I did like a quick self-portrait.
That's awesome.
Asteroids, dude. Right? Like, so, and this is me. I'm just like grabbing the gel pens and I'm just jumping like right in there. This one is the Milky Way.
Yeah, I was getting that Milky Way vibe. It's like, dude,
comic book cover. So I did someone grabbing Watchmen issue 1 because that's my all-time like favorite comic. Lotus flower. Looking through the keyhole, the tree of life, something with 2 heads. So, the point I'm getting at though is I really fell in love with this very quickly because if I take the prompts on the literal level, like I take them as is, okay, I will now be forcing myself out of my comfort zone all the time. And a lot of times when I'm drawing on the page, I'm kind of drawing everything I'm already familiar with. So I'm not getting any growth here. Like I'm cheating myself when I do this. But here, with this idea, I'm constantly like almost in school. And, like I turn the page and what's the next prompt? Lightsaber. Okay. The Grim Reaper. Not a problem. Fountain of Youth. Okay, now I have to like think about this one. Yeah. So like you get these ideas like Main in the Moon, Lightning Strike, Goddess. Okay, dude, Psychedelic Portal.
Wow, man, like, that is insane.
View from the top. Like I just had to draw like a city. Like like the perspective's not 100%, but it's still me. Like like. I would never write this into a story.
Right.
Who wants to draw this? Right? Like, that's not fun. So, like, so that's the whole idea. So, look, dude, deer antlers, a jackal, Medusa, look, a carousel. Like, come on, dude. Like, why would I ever want to draw this? But it's really, like, the growth, dude. Like, Sugar Skull, take it, and look, no joke. No joke. Ready? While we were on the phone today, all about going to Disney. Okay, dude.
Holy crap!
Yeah, but look at this prompt. Wow. The prompt was Magic Kingdom.
What the heck, dude?
As I was on the phone about going to like Orlando. How wild is that?
That is insane.
Yeah, but dude, some of these are like impossible. Like this one is blueprints.
Oh my god!
Like right, like what do you do about that? Like here's a cyborg. That's easy. Okay. A totem pole. Like, all right, that's a little easy. Like Aladdin's lamp. But dude, every once in a while. So like, dude, a bright idea. Like Anaconda. Look, dude, the Grand Canyon. Okay, so this is a part. So the reason why I kind of like hunted this down is from one of these things I got from like my normal sketchbooks. So this is March of Robots. I did this last year, and every single month of day of March, you draw a robot. So what I wanted to do was I combined it with a theme, and the theme is WWF. Okay, so like I showed you this before. All my sketchbooks, I completely like draw them out. Okay, and then like here's the table of contents. These are all the wrestlers I feature. But part of it was that every single day, dude, I was drawing like wrestlers and solving problems that I normally would never do.
Right.
And this is the power of kind of giving yourself a sketchbook theme.
Right.
Like, because I'm like, I got like Triple H here, but as a robot. So I'm thinking like what do I have to do for this? Like what do I Goldberg, who's like my absolute favorite wrestler next to the Ultimate Warrior. And I got really into doing sketchbook themes, and now I maintain a sketchbook theme all the time now because it again takes me out of my comfort zone. Like in no way am I going to like slow down and kind of hope that I get some drawing assignment somewhere, and it's like, oh, I hope that's challenging and I get to grow from that. It's like, no, like I'm constantly seeking out ways to grow as an illustrator.
Right.
Like, and that's it, dude. Like, and a lot of times, the stuff I'm doing with Trial by Fire is exactly that. Because I always say Trial by Fire, like, is the absolute process. So why shouldn't the book, like, emulate that also? But, so that's why for Trial by Fire, we draw a lot of wild things.
Right. Hey,
yeah, anyway.
Peter, give me 1 sec, okay?
Yeah, no problem, dude. Something. Yeah, go ahead, dude. Well, we're almost done our White Claw, everyone. So here we go. Drawing TBF pages. Oh. Well, everyone, I may have to go. I'm getting a call. Looks like the 9 to 5's calling me. Hey, Skull Diamond, what's happening? Skull Diamond, I need to have you on the show. I literally just got like a work call. But Skull Diamond, we need to have you on the show for all of your stuff, dude. Like, I kind of want to do something very similar, and I want to hang out with you while we kind of both work on our books. I don't know if that's something you can help me with. But and everyone too, thanks for like still hanging out. Don't forget to leave your comments so I know you're still with me, because it gets lonely at the drawing table. Because normally, this is where I listen to Iron Maiden. Here we go. Completely redrew that head here. All right, we're looking good for that guy. Skull Diamond, thank you so much for all of the support. But yeah, everyone, hate to do this. I will have to go. Tomorrow night we're talking, just to tease it real quick. Tomorrow night we are talking with Mark Fulton, the creator of U.S. Assassin. This is my first, conversation, interview, sit down. We're going to harass this guy. We're going to get some answers out of him. So thanks for hanging out. Subscribe, support. You guys got to leave comments, because that's the only way we beat the algorithm.